and welcome back. I think it's really worthwhile talking today about the sad crash of Flight 752, a Ukrainian 737-800 series out of Tehran, Iran. Just to dispel any myths, first of all, it was a 737-800 series and not a MAX 8. MAX 8s have been grounded all over the world, just to clear that up. The sad part of this accident for me is I worry we won't get to the bottom of it. It was a Boeing, it was a 737, and normally when American-built aircraft crash anywhere in the world, the manufacturer and even the NTSB get involved. But due to the extremely poor relations between the US and Iran right now, it's understandable why Iran are not going to send the data back to the US. This is a problem. Now, I'm sure that the Iranian crash investigators will do an excellent job, but I think we need to look at what possibly went wrong and why they might not tell us the full story. Here's some sad and tragic footage of the plane on fire in the air before it crashed. I think this is rather telling, but we'll get on to that.
سیم برق مواظب باشید. آره. هواپیمای بابا این.
The other excellent source of data is Flight Radar 24 that tracked the flight from takeoff to its final demise. It reveals something quite interesting. What you can see from the ADSB flight data recording is that it was a perfectly normal takeoff. And I think that dispels the myth that they'd lost an engine, because a catastrophic engine failure on takeoff, although it is actually quite likely because the engines are working at full power, wouldn't have made the plane explode and catch fire. You know, any engine problem would be contained. And two, the crew would have made an announcement, and they didn't. What I'd like to say is a bit about aircraft safety. You turn up, you're a crew, you're going to fly this plane, you want to check the maintenance records, and this plane had been recently maintained. You switch it all on, it self-checks itself, you're taxiing out from the gate, you're checking it, you're at the end of the runway, you're checking engines, you're on takeoff roll, you're really paying attention to make sure that you don't have a problem which you could still abort under V1. All of that happened, so I don't believe that the plane had such a catastrophic problem it would blow up. Planes just don't blow up. Okay, so you have a compressor stall and the engine backfires and flames come leaping out the back. Not from both engines, it can still fly on the other one. And a really serious compressor stall won't set the plane on fire. So sadly, I think we have to consider only a limited number of possibilities of what went wrong on this tragic accident, where 170 people died. An aircraft taking off normally, no announcement from the crew, no mayday, not saying that they're going to turn around and come back to the airport. We'll go into that in a minute. And suddenly they hit the ground. It seems to me that something suddenly and catastrophic happened. And in my humble opinion, it only points to two things. One, it was a surface-to-air missile, or it was a bomb on board. Now, surface-to-air missiles are deadly, and this has happened in the past with commercial aircraft, but it's unlikely in this case. I don't think that the Iranian military, who would be the main people in charge of these kind of weapons, would fire at a commercial airplane. For me, the very sad but logical explanation of what happened is there was a small but deadly bomb in the cargo area which detonated the central fuel tank, set the whole plane on fire, catastrophically disabled all the flight controls. The crew couldn't communicate. The plane was doomed and it hit the ground. Now, that is just my opinion, and hopefully we will find the truth. But due to the tensions between Iran and the US right now, I wonder if we ever will. And sadly, the truth will remain down there.